Good morning and welcome to this week's video news and an update on the letting sector. On the 3rd of July, the Housing, Communities and Local Government Committee published a report upon the private rental sector, and under the stewardship of its chair, Florence Esrilomi MP, highlighted conditions within the private rental sector and the conclusion that there was still too much of an onus on the tenant to report issues within a property, and that landlords must take greater responsibility. And backing up what I mentioned when I gave my last update a couple of weeks ago, that local authorities are going to be passed greater powers. Coincidental to this, and perhaps slightly worrying, is that Google reported that searches from landlords had increased 600% into what the Renters' Rights Act meant for them and what changes taken place. So the report that was published on the 3rd of July, certainly I hope is going to be read by the landlords, and gives, in my view, a very clear direction of travel as to where the private rental sector is going, highlighting that there must be strong, demonstrable property standards, better evidence of maintaining those standards, and keeping a proactive repair management of your property going. And that if those standards are not met, well, the local authorities do have those powers now to come in and inspect the properties and, if needs be, create fines. One further report that I found very interesting was something published by one of the referencing companies. And what this showed is a significant increase in rents over the month of June. So in April and May, we'd seen rental inflation at about 1.7%. And in June, that leapt to 6.5%. So in May, the average rent was £1,229, and in June, that rose to £1,309. Why I find this particularly interesting is that these figures are based on actual rents agreed, so not those rents that are advertised on the portals, which are the rents that landlords would want to receive but don't necessarily receive. And I think what this highlights is perhaps that on the flip side, to those landlords that are still searching on Google, there is a strong number of landlords that have perhaps been advised and got their house into order, pardon the pun, and therefore sought to set the rents before the Renters' Rights Act came in, knowing that under the Renters' Rights Act, you are now only allowed to review rents once a year using Section 13. So it's a very, very formulated process. So they likely rebased their rents before the Renters' Rights Act, I beg your pardon, came in, and have now set that. And we've seen that that is now starting to take place. Whether this is going to be a continuing trend is something that we are going to closely monitor here. But seeing that rental inflation, as I say, at 6.5%, which is the strongest rise since August 2024, whether this sets a pattern is going to be something that's going to be interesting to watch over the coming months. In the summer months, we do typically see rental increases going up, but that was certainly more of a higher increase than I would have expected. Within Madison's, we have some wonderful rental properties available and coming soon to the market. We have a fantastic 3-bedroom family property on Thurmill Road, so within the sort of Culverden and St John's area, great for the local schools, lovely walks surrounding it within the nearby wood. We also have a fantastic 2-bedroomed flat available soon in Avon House on Garden Street, so situated just above Camden Road and the centre of the town there. So a really lovely and newly refurbished 2-bedroom property there. If you're interested in having a view at either of those properties, do please get in contact with us and we'll be delighted to arrange a viewing for you. I look forward to speaking to you again in a couple of weeks' time.